Terima kasih. Thank you, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to now invite Yang Amat Berbahagia Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, the fourth Prime Minister of Malaysia and President of the Perdana Global Peace Foundation, to address us. Dipersilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Because the intention also is to reduce the number of people in this world. At the time when the New World Order was enunciated, the population of this world was only 3 billion. The intention was to reduce it to 1 billion. Now the population of the world is 7 billion. There will be a need to kill many billions of people, or to starve them to death, or to prevent them from giving birth, in order to reduce the population of this world. This is what is in store for most. For those who will suffer and die, there will be the peace of the grave.
To me, people, get over it. By the time these young people get ready to have children, they will realize that as the hole in the ozone layer gets larger and larger, more and more sunlight is allowed to enter our environment, and more people who have pale faces are going to die of melanoma, which is a skin cancer that you get if you don't have enough melanin in your skin. Let me tell you, people of color are going to be very much in demand for reproduction in the future. And mark my words, you're laughing now, but you wait 20 years. You won't even have to wait 20 years, because they're going to see that if they want their children, their grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren to survive, they're going to have some melanin in their skin. That's the way it's going to be. This is going to take care of itself.
So today I'm talking about the difference between 9 ethers and 6 ether beings. We are not the same species, we don't have the same DNA, and we don't come from the same place. So to start off, all of your blacks and Latinos, we have neuromelanin. What is neuromelanin? Neuromelanin is carbon. What is carbon? Carbon is 6 electrons, 6 protons, and 6 neutrons. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. That's where you get the term 9 ether from. Now all of your Caucasians, Mexicans, Dravidians, and Arabs, y'all are 6 ether beings, and y'all have what you call pheomelanin, which is the same melanin that animals have. This is why the form of our crown in the middle of our head is the same pattern as a galaxy, as different natural disasters, different plants, different animals, and even water waves. Now 6 ether beings, y'all only have a double helix in y'all DNA structure. Now us 9 ether beings, we have a triple helix, and we have 9 series of DNA. And remember, 9 is the number of completion. 9 is the highest number. There's no number that goes past 9. Now us 9 ether beings, our number 1 planet is in the 9th universe. We are not from planet Kai. However, we made planet Kai to evolve our souls. Kai stands for home of the Anunnaki, which is us. Now 6 ether beings, y'all come from the 6th universe, from a planet called Nern, or Earth. Now 9 ether beings, we manifested our souls and our spirits from Source. What is Source? Source is carbon, or dark matter energy. Now 6 ether beings, I'm not going to speak about exactly what y'all come from, because TikTok took my video down the last time. But it's clear as day, the way y'all hair is. Y'all same hair that's on y'all head can be found on a whole different species that's on this planet. The way that y'all naturally smell when y'all get in the rain, or just in natural, that's the same smell of a different species on this planet. It's clear as day, it's common sense. Oh, and let's not forget, y'all also attract bugs, ticks, and lice in y'all hair, and it's impossible for us to get any of that shit in our hair. Now us 9 ether carbonated beings, our DNA is set up to go against their laws of physics. This is what they make they fucking movies about. This is why they make GMO foods. This is why they got a new technology called RNA interference to target our DNA and keep our shit locked down. Your DNA was made from source to go against their laws of physics. Now, 6 ether beings, y'all don't have that 9 series of DNA. That's why when I came on here and told y'all, y'all don't hold that junk DNA, y'all don't, because y'all don't have the 9 series. The triple helix, y'all have a double helix. And us 9 ether beings, our ether grows up towards the sun like a alive growing plant. And 6 ether beings, y'all hair hangs down like a dead plant. You see, the white man taught us that we are all one. Our melanin is the same. Our DNA structure is the same. No, it's not all the same. We are extraterrestrials from the 9th universe, and y'all are from the 6th universe from a planet called Nern, and y'all was made in a petri dish in a fucking lab. So skin color does matter. Race does matter. Why? Because our genetic and our DNA structure is completely different. And however, I fuck with all 6 ether beings. Caucasians, Arabs, Dravidians, all of them. Some of the coolest motherfuckers I ever met in my life was Caucasian. But these genetic differences must be brought to the forefront because the white man lied and said that we are all one. We are not all one.
This is water we breathing in. You don't believe me? Just close all the doors and don't get no oxygen in that motherfucker. You're going to come back, you're going to start seeing water drip from the walls, and then you're going to start seeing mold form. So we are in a fishbowl. And that's why they got an operation called Operation Fishbowl when they fired off nukes at the atmosphere trying to break through the dome. I'm just saying, this did Operation High Jump, Operation Blue Beam, Operation White Sand.
Shh, they're gonna this shit. They're gonna come for you, bro. They're gonna come for you. So, if there's water above us, how do we get out of space?
You don't get out of space. You go inner space, and you go inner space by going in the oceans. That's how you get to the outer realms. So the real outer space is beyond the Antarctica and deep within our oceans. That's why if you look at their outer space missions, they're actually in water, floating around in water somewhere in Las Vegas, Nevada, and deep in the Colorado. They ain't out of space. That's why if you look, it's so many people now putting up showing that these space shuttle missions is fake as hell, man. Showing you that they ain't never been out of space. If you really want to go outer space, get your ass on a submarine and go deep within the water. That's the true outer space. And there's so many different alien bases and military base underwater and in the actual ground. They're hollowing out mountains now. They're hollowing out mountains. You can Google this. And they're making inside of mountains underground bunkers and underground military bases. So if they're doing that to the mountains, imagine what they're doing underground in space, in the water. So if you want to go outer space, go deep sea diving.
You said it's aliens.
Yeah, aliens. And all alien mean is, so Elion is a Hebrew word. That's where they get aliens from. It's really El Elyon. And that just means of the Most High God. Technically, we are aliens. And that's why they studying us. That's why they stealing our melanin. That's why they trying to understand the functioning of our biological vehicles. That's why they can't understand our circadian rhythm, our biological clocks. We are the most different species of humans that the planet ever had. We're so different than them. Our teeth are shorter than theirs. Their teeth are wider and longer. Their canines are longer than our canines. Their hydrochloric acid inside their stomach is hotter than ours.
You talking about white people?
I'm talking about white people. They produce an acidic enzyme in their mouth. We produce an alkaline enzyme in our mouth called amylase and amylose and trypsin. They can break down proteins and meats. Our stomachs can't break down proteins and meats because the pepsin and the hydrochloric acid doesn't get hot enough to break it down. They digestive system can go through something called putrefactions, or can't. Ours go through something called fermentation. A lot of them grow tails. Their hair grow towards the earth or towards the ground. It curls and it grows towards the sun. We have high melanin content. Inside of our melanin, we have something called selenium. They have low melanin content. Inside their melanin, they have something called ammonia. And they have a high sulfur concentration inside their cells. And that's why when they get hot, when it get hot outside, they get colder, or if it get cold outside, they get hotter. That's why you can see a white man running in Daisy Duke shorts in the middle of the winter when it's 20 below freezing. He got on a tank top and he hot. Or,
crazy.
or when they get hot and they get around water, it changes and the sulfur mixed with ammonia and it gives off this actually canine smell. And that's why they say they smell like wet dogs. You see, this is all scientifically proven. And I'm not saying that to talk about them or nothing like that. I'm saying this to say this. We are biochemically different and our molecular structure is structured different and most of our cells function different. If you look at the vaginal canal of a black woman, she have more diverse bacteria inside her vagina than an actual white woman. We have something called HeLa cells, Henrietta Lacks cells, where the black woman have immortal cells that doesn't die. But theirs die every 40 days. That's why if you see a black woman vagina, she is more prone to what you would call bacterial disorders or what they would call yeast disorders and yeast infections than a white woman, or these really yeast infections, or it's a really diverse portfolio of bacteria, and these bacteria know how to accumulate when acids is in the system. And that's why I said we have to change the curriculum books, and we need our own education books, we need our own curriculum books, we need our own culture, we need our own teachers and everything, because we are our own biological entities and we operate very, very different from anybody else on a cellular molecular structure. We are different. We think different. We come from melanin. We act black. We think black. We look black. We come from black. We get the curses of the black people and of so-called black people and everything. So even being on earth and how we look at reality.
Anunnaki are actually black. This is because black people have the strongest souls which possess the most power. It all has to do with the pigmentation of their skin. Darker pigmentations of your skin allow you to absorb more frequencies of the sun. Because the sun is known to strengthen the DNA of your soul, this is why they are so powerful. The system knew about their power. Why do you think the system gave them such a hard time? They were trying to contain it. I'm just here to tell you the truth. And the truth is, everybody's getting their power back. And there's going to be a power shift real soon.
There was a time where Antarctica,
perhaps 90 million years ago, there was a lush rainforest that is now covered in miles of ice on the Antarctic continent.
a friend of ours, who will remain nameless, went there. And he said a couple interesting things. He said the mountains looked eerily pointy and four-sided. He said way more mountainous than he thought it would be. He said there is a pact with every country that has a slice of it that they will not dig or remove any minerals from Antarctica. They are clearly protecting or preserving something that may or may not be under, I believe it's 3 miles at its thickest of ice.
We literally were re-engineered to become a slave race on this planet. Enki had an idea. He says, look, let us take the existing being on this planet and add our essence to them and get them to bear the load of the labor. So basically create a slave race. Not from dust, not from actual, like, you know, the Bible says you take some clay and wet clay and spit on it and blah, blah, blah. No, from taking a being that's here already, genetically tinkering with it, making it, inserting a worship gene, which we know the gene for worship was inserted into the genome. We know that for a fact now through genetic studies, and they can be turned on and they can also be turned off. We'll get them to worship us. They'll think we're God and they'll do the work just to honor us. And they put them out there to do all the work and take the load away from the Ijiji, the working class, the Anunnaki.
Here's someone taking a bathroom selfie and capturing something unsettling. It seems like it was only after looking back at the photos that she realized that her selfie wasn't actually a selfie. Another face appears on camera. Talk about photobombing. Elizabeth Watson went out with some friends to a bar in Salzburg, Austria, and captured something pretty creepy on camera. I'll let her explain what happened.
I always show this photo around Halloween time because it still totally freaks me out. But about 10 years ago, I was studying at the Salzburg International Ballet Academy in Salzburg, Austria. You can see me here, right here. And one night after a long week of dancing, some friends and I all went out to this bar called O'Malley's in downtown Salzburg. And if you ever find yourself in Salzburg, definitely look it up. It's awesome. Anyways, we're here at O'Malley's and we're having a good time and everything's fine. And Allison here in the middle was taking photos throughout the night and nothing of consequence happened. She took a bunch of pictures. We all went back home to the States about a month later and she finally uploaded the photos. And she uploaded this photo right here. And you can see me, I'm being sort of a downer over here for whatever reason. But Allison's dancing in the background and you can see behind her this figure. And it has a face, guys. Like, it has a face.
What makes this apparition creepy is the fact that according to viewers, this ghostly figure shares the resemblance of La Santa Muerte, which translates to Saint Death. As the name implies, Santa Muerte is a Catholic deity associated with death and the afterlife. With this in mind, it makes you wonder if the presence of this supposed deity meant that someone at this bar was going to die. Who knows? On a side note, there's something else that Elizabeth missed in her photos. In the second pic, if you look closely, there appears to be another ghost-like figure in the background. Now, this could have been caused by the camera's movement, but I could be wrong. This next video was taken inside an old restaurant that is currently being renovated. The person recording this doesn't say where exactly this footage was taken, and for good reason. Aside from privacy, this place isn't safe to be in. It's not just the construction that makes it unsafe, but rather something else. For just an idea of why that is, the owners of the restaurant are deeply afraid of the strange things that have happened here. Now, the person recording this is someone who I featured in a previous video. They too have been experiencing strange happenings and believe that it won't stop unless they move out from home. Given their experience with this unusual phenomenon, they were invited to see this restaurant before it's completely demolished. Although expecting to see something unusual, nothing happens. That is, until much later when they head over to the back of the restaurant. What happens then is terrifying to say the least. This is what they caught.
Oh, it's cold right here. Let's do that away. Hello? I'm not going up there. Definitely not going back there. Oh wow, it is really cold right here. What was that? No. I don't think it's happy we're here. Oh, no. Oh, holy. Dude, there's...
Initially, a strange shadow can be seen peeking from a corner. The man, whose name is Win, doesn't notice it until much later, after feeling a sudden drop in temperature. The room suddenly becomes cold when out of nowhere, the small figure is seen by Win. Upon seeing this, he quickly hides away as if frightened by whatever this was. But as if things couldn't get any creepier, the mysterious shadow disappears. Feeling extremely unsettled, Win walks out as fast as possible and ends the video there. If the reason for demolishing the restaurant is to get rid of whatever this was, then maybe it's best to completely relocate from this place. But until further info is given to clarify this incident, it seems that we won't know for sure as to who or even what was inside this restaurant. The following video was posted by a Reddit user whose family has been experiencing strange activity at home. The Reddit user in question is a father who seems to be concerned for his family. According to him, there have been plenty of times when he's seen and heard things that he couldn't explain. One day, as both he and his family are asleep, his daughter is woken up by something. According to the daughter, she had seen a shadowy figure inside her room. Her reaction can be heard on camera. This is what was caught. As stated by the daughter, she had seen the silhouette of a figure inside her room, causing her to react the way she did. She further adds that around the same time, her clock radio had turned on by itself. Given all that occurred, one can understand why she was totally freaked out. Needless to say, the family was also shaken up by this. But this hadn't been the only incident that's made him feel scared, as something pretty strange had taken place a few weeks prior. It's 3 a.m. when suddenly the following is caught on camera. As stated by the father, they have no clue as to where the sound came from, but whatever it was, it definitely unsettled them. All in all, the family doesn't know what to make of this. There has yet to be more videos uploaded by the father, but until then, the situation of this family remains a mystery. This next video was posted by Steve Ballard, who was exploring an underground tunnel when something quite unsettling was caught on camera. At the time of this recording, Steve didn't see anything strange, and neither did his friend, who was also with him at the time. It was only after reviewing the footage that he saw whatever it was that appeared on camera. Even though he doesn't recall seeing anything unusual, there were certain moments during the exploration that he found a bit strange. For one, his flashlight, which was fully charged, was immediately drained of its battery upon entering a particular section of the tunnel. But, by far, the weirdest incident was when Steve had felt as though someone was breathing down his neck. And it couldn't have been his friend, as he was keeping his distance behind Steve. Although quite strange, it's the following footage that's way more creepy. Steve and his friend are exploring a hidden passage when the following happens. Be sure to look closely for this one, as it happens real quick. This is what they caught.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Really smart, really clean.
Yeah. And it's dry, look. The best part.
Yeah.
In this next video, a woman is recording her neighbor's house after noticing something very alarming. It appeared that something strange was going on inside her neighbor's garage. Now, the reason as to why this was unusual was because the neighbor was out of town. They were on vacation, far from home. But strangely, the lights inside the garage had turned on. The woman who took this video was passing by when she noticed this. But as she continued to watch, something happened that chilled her to the core. Take a look. After watching closely to see what was going on, this happens. A figure dashes back and forth in a seemingly frantic manner. It does this for more than a few seconds before suddenly stopping and looking out the garage window. It's as if it was watching the woman who was filming this. If the woman's neighbor was away from home, then who or what was this? As with most videos, this one remains a mystery. On December 2nd of 2021, at around 9 p.m., affiliates of a Christian church were looking at live footage of something very peculiar that was happening outside their chapel. They were looking at the security camera's live feed to see if anyone appeared on camera, as it was just then that the intruder alarm had gone off. They knew that someone had to be there, given that their alarm system had never failed them. But minutes pass, and no one appears. They continue to watch, hoping to see the intruder emerge from their hiding spot. But instead, what they saw was something totally unforeseen. Take a look. In utter disbelief, the church members watch closely as one of the side doors opens on its own. It opens ever so slowly and remains open as if the door was being held. But strangest of all is what ensues. A strange, translucent figure passes through, entering inside the church. The door continues to remain open before immediately closing after the figure exits. The church personnel no doubt believe that something otherworldly had taken place. While there's no definitive answer on what was seen, they still believe that a spirit or something similar had paid them all a visit.
Welcome to the fucking news. I'm your host Kellerman, and this is the shit going on in the world today. The U.S. military has misplaced an $80 million fighter jet. After the pilot ejected over South Carolina, they have literally no idea where it is. It could be crash landed or still flying around somewhere, and that is fucking crazy. Follow me if you give a shit.
A construction worker is working the graveyard shift at a warehouse when something very strange is caught on camera. This footage was posted by Xalien97, who works security at a construction site where the following chilling incident had taken place. Xalien says that ever since showing this video to the people who work there, employees have been on edge. They fear that they too will experience this terrifying encounter. In a very short video, Xalien recounts the events of that night.
So I work security at this construction site, right? We got all the trucks. We got these real things right here. There you go. One of these. These things are heavy. Just a little backstory. It was a construction worker that he needed help pushing one of these. He says a guy came up to him, another worker, and he says, "I got you. Just guide me and I'll push it for you." So I said, "Okay, cool." So he was guiding him. He kept telling him, "Back it up, back it up, back it up," and he was pushing it. When they were done, he went around the reel to tell him thank you. And he says that he was gone.
Now the scariest part about this story is that when the worker had one day gone up to the main office of the building, he noticed a particular memorial photo of the workers who used to work at the company. In this photo, he saw the man who had helped him push the reel. Eerily, the photo says he had passed away in 2015. The following is the video of what's believed to be the ghost of the ex-employee caught on camera. Eerily enough, the person who was helping the worker with the reel suddenly disappears. According to the worker, he had walked around to thank the man for helping him, but to his shock, he was no longer there. It's as though he seemingly vanished into thin air. Given the story provided by the security guard, could it be that this worker had encountered the spirit of a deceased ex-employee? Or might there be some logical explanation for this truly odd occurrence? As with most videos, this one has yet to be solved. A group of paranormal investigators known as paranormies visit an abandoned farmhouse that is said to be haunted. A member of the group sets up a table and performs a type of seance known as table tipping, which is similar to using a Ouija board as it's used to communicate with the dead. However, as they're setting up the camera to record the seance, this happens.
Set up a camera in that corner there, and I want to set up a camera either in this corner or... Stop.
Dude, what was that?
Where should we go, dude? I want to get out of here for a minute, dude. I don't want to go
upstairs.
Upstairs. Grab that light. Oh man, my heart's beating.
Maybe a Ouija board would have been a better choice.
There's no silly questions. This is a silly question. Is there research on what happens to animals and pets after death? I hope to reunite with them in the afterlife. That wasn't a silly question. But the answer is yes, there actually is research done on what happens to animals or pets after death. Because those furry companions are souls too. They're just a little bit different than human souls. In Dr. Michael Newton's research, in his book that he published, Destiny of Souls, he found that pet souls go to the spirit realm after death, just like humans do, but it's a slightly different spirit realm because animals are a different density of consciousness than humans. The soul of an animal might choose to be a pet because it's an incredible way to experience love and learn more about what love is and become a more loving being. Love, which is a very high frequency emotion. The souls of animals and humans don't really commingle in the spirit realm, but he said you do get an opportunity to meet them, to have a conversation with those pets that you've had before. You can ask them things like, why did you choose me in that life? An interesting element of this is if your pet passes away, the soul of that pet could choose to come back to Earth in a different pet body as your pet again. So if you've had a couple pets that have seemed pretty similar, they might be your soul pet.